Welcome to the podcast with wings, the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set. Strap yourselves in while host David Shortte and the Shayne Train Williams take you on a flight around the country, sourcing winners and the latest news on the big two meetings in WA as well as the Meadows and Wentworth Park. The boys will be joined by East Coast experts Jaycin Campbell and Corey Smith. We'll pass on mail from some of WA's top kennels and get to know our industry members. You're at the pointy end of the plane for this week's edition of the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set.
Hello and welcome along to the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set podcast for another week. David Shortte and the Shayne Train Williams with you. Hello, Train. You're looking well today.
Hello, David. How are you? Yeah, glad to be here. A few traffic issues on the way here, but we're here and... looking forward to getting through today's jet set. There's some good racing over the weekend.
There is indeed. What's caught your eye over the last 7 days?
What's caught my eye was that photo finish last week in the All-Stars final. Shorty blew up in social media and...
very deceptive.
Yeah, very deceptive. But having driven the lure there in the past, I always tacked a little bit onto the outside and, it's lucky for me I was on the outside dog.
Yeah, not a lot on my end. I was already heading to the payout window to get paid out, and then all of a sudden the phone started dinging right, left and centre. What's happened here?
They put the wrong number up.
I thought they'd put the wrong number in this board's train.
We'll get a chance to talk to Morgan a bit later, as he's our special guest today, and I believe, I'm not sure if it's true, we'll ask him, that the fellow trainers were shaking his hand, congratulating him. So
Correct.
That must have been a sick feeling.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, it certainly was from a punting perspective from my end. But anyway...
What's caught your eye?
Well, similar scenes. The other thing that's caught my eye is Melbourne Cup week. It means two things. Means that I'm crazy busy and I get very envious of everyone that has the day off getting into Melbourne Cup spirit. Also, first time in a little while, I've actually had couple of pre-post bets going into the Melbourne Cup this year, Train. Have you got any early thoughts for the Cup?
No, I left the Cup right away. I did have Duke DeCessa as that pre-post play in the Metrop, Caulfield and Melbourne, but he didn't take his place in the Melbourne Cup. But I'm going to go right through him over the weekend. I'm so far leaning towards Zach Purton. What's his name? Run for third or fourth in the Caulfield Cup. Land of Legend or something?
Land Legend.
It's
Yes.
just pulled a bit in the Caulfield Cup. I don't know if they might change some gear or not.
Just
but
need to calm down a little bit mid-race.
And Absurd would be the other one I'm going to back. I think this year's a year for the imports, Shorty. So what do you want pre-post?
I backed One Smooth Operator off that Geelong Cup win, and I haven't done that for a long time, but last time I did that was Brew, and it won the Melbourne Cup with Karen McAvoy all those years ago, but I can't remember seeing a more impressive performance than this. It was a good quality lineup that it was up against, and it ran away from them late and then was eased down late. I love seeing that, and obviously had the Ebor form, which always stacks up really well looking at the Melbourne Cup. This horse has won over 3,400 metres, so trips no problem. It's clearly settled in really well here in Australia. Something could come from left field that hasn't started yet and blow me out. I completely understand that. But got double figure odds about One Smooth Operator. Thought that was a decent bet. And even more buoyed now because Sea King came out and won the Bendigo Cup. And they were basically right next to each other in that Ebor. And I thought on that occasion that One Smooth Operator had less luck than what Sea King did. But it franks that form again. So those two horses for me certainly look to be right there in the mix.
There was a big tip for Sea King in the Bendigo Cup, and it was a massive drifter on the day. It drifted
380 to 6.
750 even at the end. I stayed out. I stayed out at the end because of the drift, but I was going to have something on. And
I was already locked in at shorter odds, and then went again because I thought, well, if this happens to win now, I don't want to be taking under $4 when it got to over 6. So there you go. There, Melbourne Cup thoughts. Good luck. Everyone has a play Melbourne Cup day. You have your stock standard crack at the trifecta and first four and hope for a little bit of good fortune. If you get it, it always pays well. So let's hope 2024 is our year, Train. We need to build a bank, though, prior to Tuesday for Melbourne Cup Day. We may as well start by rolling up the sleeves and getting straight into this Friday night card at the Coastal Circuit. Take us through your key plays, please.
Yeah, I think we're swinging from the same hymn sheet over the weekend, Shorty. We'll get your tips very shortly, but I'm going to kick it off tonight. Race 5, number 2, Torino for the Chile man. He's been in fine form on the golf course, as well as training the Greyhound Shorty. He's found a race here, plenty of depth. I really like Torino drawn in low. It's coming out of that Great Western final last week where he didn't have any luck at all. It was He really fires when he draws in, short. He's had 13 starts from boxes 1, 2 and 3 for 7 wins. Good race. I thought he'd be a little bit longer, but I think he still might drift, Shorty. So race 5, number 2, Torino to kick it off. Then we'll go over to race 9, number 4, Bakes on Lakes. This is another one that's come up very short, Shorty. 155 I've seen. Didn't think he'd be that short. Thought he'd be around about the even money mark, but nonetheless, he's a nice young pup. He was brilliant on debut, running 22.38. Then he had a tumble at start 2, and that old saying, Shorty, if you fall back off the horse, you got to get straight back on. I really like the fact that he's back at the races straight away. It tells you that there's nothing wrong with him. He's come out of that tumble okay. And like I said, a repeat of that debut run of 22.38, he'll blow these up. Race 9, number 4, Bakes on Lakes. And then looking for a little bit of value, we go deep into the card. Race 10, number 4, Chef's Kiss. Lightly raced of late, so nice and fresh for this 400-metre trip. She has a fair bit of class and generally shows good early burn. Fake and box in 5 will allow her to push forward and find a spot early, Shorty, up there on the speed. And just thought the dog in 1, although he's a good place dog, he's probably a false favourite in my opinion. He does like running a lot of placings, so for that reason I'm going to put race 10, number 4, Chef's on Kiss on top of race 5, number 2, Torino, and race 9, number 4, Bakes on Lakes for Friday night.
Okay, the other team members, Friday night, Ryan Levitsky, race 3, number 4, Kenya Concord each way, race 5, number 2, Torino, race 10, number 1, Aussie Gem, that's 3, 4, 5, 2, 10, 1. The quaddie there, 2 up front on its own, 1, 4, 5, 7, leg 2, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, leg 3, 1, 2, 5, the final leg, so 2, 1, 4, 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 1, 2, 5 for Ryan. Jesse Earnshaw, he went 3 for 3 last week, looking to do it similar here with race 4, number 1, Kenya Kraken, race 5, number 5, Halloumi Manelli, and race 6, number 4, Our Benson. Now that's 4, 1, 5, 5, 6, 4. He's also put together a quaddie tonight, 2 and 5, leg 1, 4, 5, 7, leg 2, 1, 2, 3, 8, leg 3, home with 3 and 7. Yours truly this evening, I'm kicking it off race 4, number 1, Kenya Kraken on a 1x2 style basis. Draws a nice box here in an open affair. I think it can punch up, hold the rail and be in the finish. Race 5, number 2, Torino, probably the best bet price-wise tonight, where it's priced better than black odds. I'm happy enough to be with it. And race 9, number 4, Bakes on Lakes. Vacant box on the outside, and quite simply, this dog's got 5 to 6 lengths on the remainder of the field. The other real leg up here, talked about on Chasing Winners this morning, Train. Dave Hobby owns the business, Bakes on Lakes, a bakery. You would not want to be naming a slow greyhound after the business that you're operating. You want this to be one of the hottest dogs you have, so that it's giving your business lots of free publicity. So that's the greatest leg up we're probably likely to get from the hobby camp in a long time.
Yeah, 100%. That bakery is run by Darren Rowe, also a greyhound trainer that Dave obviously feeds a few dogs for him to train as well. So yeah, it's going great guns, the bakery, and so's the dog after tonight.
Let's hope so. Quaddie for me tonight, 2 and 5, leg 1. 4, 5, 6 and 7, leg 2. 1, 2, 3, 6 and 8, leg 3. Home with 1, 3, 5 and 7. In recap, 2, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7. That's $160 for a full unit. $16 will get you 10%. And my roving banker for tonight is race 7, number 1, Panadero Magic. I think this greyhound, drawn the inside, whether it begins well or not, will be able to get a nice run in transit, nice and strong the back end of 488. Many winning chances in that race, and I think it can hit the frame and at the very least be a lovely rover for tonight, race 7, number 1. You got anything to add to your key plays, rover or indeed a roughie?
Yeah, I haven't had time to do the roughie, Shorty, but the rover for Friday night, although I've tipped Chef's Kiss, who's, I just noticed Shorty's right off the map. I thought Aussie Gem, as you said earlier today, missed a place once in 15 starts. So there's not much value there, but Chef's Kiss was $4 this morning. I've just noticed he's $2.70. So obviously the punters have launched there. So yeah, no roughie, but my rover, Aussie Gem race 10, number 1.
Okay, so there's Friday night Mandurah taken care of punters. We'll now turn the page to the same venue, but this time Saturday night chasing there. And a good card for the punters to get their teeth into. No feature races of note, but we've got some good distance races throughout the course of the night. Also, some of our top grade sprinters set to strut their stuff. Your key plays for Saturday, the 2nd of November, Train.
Yeah, I've got to say, Shorty, I can't wait to get back to Cannington as a trainer. I'm really looking forward to also doing a bit of form away from Mandurah. These dogs going around on the bend start all the time, not having any luck. I'm really looking forward to Kennington. You seen it the other day when you done grey and gold?
It looks good. Yeah, I will say that. It is looking good, and it's still a month away, which is frustrating, but it is looking good, and I think when we reopen it, it's obviously going to be a facility that will be there for the benefit of our industry for many years still to come. So hard yards in the meantime. I think it's been challenging finding the winners with Cannington out of the setup. It's forced you to sort of have dogs chasing at Mandurah and Northern that have maybe got a little bit stale at different stages. So I think we're all really looking forward to having Cannington back into the rotation. Nonetheless, there's 12 winners to be found. Train, what have you come up with for Saturday night?
Yeah, I like the card Saturday night, Shorty. I'm going to kick it off. Race 4, number 5, Molotov Boy. Again, he's opened up very short. Been flying since the step up to the staying trips. Big grade dropper here coming out of the city free-for-alls up at Northern, back to a provincial grade 5. He really won't know himself back at this grade. He's got plenty on him, Shorty. He's only a bit of bad luck. I think we'll beat him race 4, number 5, Molotov Boy. And then we'll go to race 7, number 8, Malfetta Cruz. Love this dog. Love the way he's going. Love where he's drawn, Shorty. Loves Mandurah. Loves the Fairy Floss. I think he's the king of Mandurah now. He's taken out the All-Stars and the Mandurah Cup, so I think he's taken that mantelpiece off whoever held it before him. Like I said, he's out in his favourite box. He's won 5 from 7 out there, Shorty, and he just loves racing at Mandurah. I'm not sure how they'll beat him. There's obviously good dogs drawn in the inside, but they're going to be get back run on dogs who need that bit of luck, and I think he'll be up outside Sunset Hornet and just give him windburn up the back straight. So race 7, number 8, Malfetta Cruz, my next tip. And then race 8, number 4, Balla Race. Interesting, this dog, Shorty's been flying up at Northern. He's broke the first section record his last 2 starts. He went 561, then 557. It's unheard of. And to be fair, he's been running 29.45 and 29.51. You can't say he's not going to run 500 off that. They're good runs. So I just think a bit of a master stroke from Cozzy dropping him back to 400 metres here. You don't think he's going to get run down over the 400 if he can show that blistering early speed. So I think you look for the blue rug early, you'll be bursting through the pack there, Shorty. Race 8, number 4, on top of race 7, number 8. And race 4, number 5, Molotov Boy.
All right, the other boys for Saturday night. Ryan Levitsky, race 2, number 2, Catagen. Race 5, number 3, Sunset Serengeti. And race 8, number 4, Balla Ace, 225384. He's also had a quaddie play 1358, 28, 18, and 4. 1358, 28, 184. 4. Jesse Earnshaw. Race 5, number 1, Shy Emoji. Found this dog at good odds last week. Race 8, number 4, Balla Ace. And race 12, number 7, Kachise Attitude. 5, 1, 8, 4, 12, 7. He's come up with a very economical quaddie. 1 out, leg 1. 4 and 8, leg 2. 4 and 8, leg 3. 4 on its own, leg 4. So 1, 4, 8, 4, 8, 4. $4 per unit. That's Jesse. For me, I am teaming up with race 4, number 5, Molotov Boys. 3 starts, track and trip, 2 wins and a close-up second. Loves the joint. This is not strong. We'll get the cash. Race 7, number 8, Malfetta Cruz. Everything the train mentioned. Loves it wide. The clear danger in the race, and they do look to me a standout Quinella again. Emerald Guard, who was who many thought had won the race last week. This time, though, moves from 1 to 4 and has Sunset Hornet and Custom Manelli drawn inside of it, who will likely beat it out, and then be dogs that don't like to leave the inside, and that's where Emerald Guard likes to be going underneath dogs. Just thought that might make it a bit jammy, and Malfetta Cruz could be off and gone. And speaking of Fairy Floss Bandits, this canine is a serious candidate for diabetes because it loves a Fairy Floss, dines out on it, and Hopeland in the pink with 1, 2 and 3, all likely to use a little bit early, and only one of them can lead. I just think they may all find each other, get a bit jammy, and out wide, have a look who's dropping on them. It's Hopeland. So for me, race 4, number 5, Molotov Boy, race 7, number 8, Malfetta Cruz, and race 9, number 8, Hopeland. They are my 3 plays Saturday night there at Mandurah. Quadrilla and any roughies or rovers, please, Train.
Yeah, got a rover there, Hopeland. I agree with you there. Race 9, number 8. Nelly made the tips there, so we put him in there as the rover there. Race 9, number 8 on Saturday night. Hopeland and the quaddie, Shorty. I'm playing field in the first leg, 2, 4, 8 in the second leg, 8, 1 out in the third leg. Now in the last leg, I'm playing 4, 1 out on 1 ticket. That's $24. And I'm just having a little spare ticket in that last leg with 1 and 5. So just in case Balla Race misses a kick. So yeah, 2 little quaddies, 4 in the last leg as the main one, and the little saver 1 and 5 on the spare ticket.
Okay, and no roughies, just the one Rover?
Yes, the one Rover.
Okay, for me, Rover, race 2, number 1, Go Seek Francine, greyhound that generally makes its own luck, and in a race where there's a few hopes, we'll go with race 2, number 1, Go Seek Francine, to be there in the mixer. And there was one other race there on Saturday night that I thought that we could play around with some novelties, and that was in race number 8 on the program, and it was indeed with greyhound number 1 Racing Barbie. So I'll be playing it 2 ways, with Bella Ace getting the start right and winning, and in that case it'd be 4-1 field, 4 field 1. And then without Bella Ace getting it right, I'll be taking field 1, field 1. So 2 plays all around Racing Barbie. They are race 8, number 1, Racing Barbie as my roving banker to go along with race 2, number 1, Go Seek Francine. So happy enough to be involved there with those 2 roving plays on Saturday night. That is Saturday night chasing taken care of. Time now to head across to New South Wales and catch up with our great mate, Jaycin Campbell.
It's a busy weekend of chasing in New South Wales. Joining the boys to help find you the winners, it's the one and only Jaycin Campbell.
The very talented Jaycin Campbell now joins us on the Jet Set podcast. He continues to see them like beach balls. It's great to be catching up with him on this Friday. Hello, JC.
Hey, Train. Hey, Shorty. How you guys going?
Battling away, mate, battling away. Melbourne Cup week's obviously a big week, but much better than last week. JC pulled up a treat. Just needed a week to recover. Looking forward to backing a few winners. You were good last night, so we're looking forward to go again at Wentworth Park on Saturday.
Yeah, Indeed. Can't wait for this week. It's obviously a massive week of racing down here in Melbourne. I've just logged. I'm getting filmed right now by one of the Wolf Den crew, so just put me on the spot. But looking forward to a good night of racing, obviously at Wentworth Park tomorrow night.
Yeah, shout out to the Wolf Den crew for a big week for them. Obviously Melbourne Cup week. We wish them all the very best and your good self with them. You're a very versatile man, JC, doing a little bit of everything, looking after the punters. So shout out to the team there. And we've got an 11 race program to look forward to at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. Some good chasing throughout the course of the evening, and we'll always get around any dog that's breaking a track record, and that's exactly what Dalwhinnie did last week. And for William Butler goes out there in race number 5, and you can take it to the bank that it will open up a ridiculous quote, but that's what happens when you break track records.
Yeah, 100%. Was obvious. He was obviously very brilliant last week. I always get confused whether he's a boy or a girl because of the name Dalwhinnie. It's a bit feminine. Anyway, be interested to see how he goes this week. There's a couple of dogs underneath him that have good speed. Questionable is one of them. Bamboos is another one. So there's every chance that he could be caught 3 wide into that first turn. But obviously we saw how strong he was in the run home last week. I think he ran home at 11:39. So if he reproduces that, he's probably got to win by a space.
Indeed. I think it's the Winnie that gets you. We've all known a Winnie or two in our lifetimes, and I think lady straight away when I hear Winnie, so I can see where you've been caught out there, JC. Let's get into finding a winner or two for the punters. Who's the first of your bets for Saturday night?
Yeah, heading to race 9. Happy to play the 4 here, Zipping Chaplain. I think there's really good speed in this contest. Starburst Millie in box 3. She's very capable of cutting and running. I think that should set this race up for Zipping Chaplain, who does return to the 520 metres after a run over the middle distance. Prior to that run over the middle distance and the fall, he roared home in a race over this track and trip in 29.64. Just think he's going to open up a fair enough price considering the draw and race conditions, and I think he'll be really hard to hold out late in the piece.
All right, race 9, number 4, Zipping Chaplain, the first of them. The value play on the card?
Yeah, race 10, number 6, Common Speed, a dog that yourself and Train will be probably really familiar with, ex-WA runner who's now with Jason McKay. Has had 2 runs here. She was really good last week at the Gardens, clocking 29.20. I'm not exactly sure how short she'll go up, but you've got Sovereign State in box 8, who was a 29.77 last start winner over this track and trip. So I'm sure that dog will command a lot of respect in the marketplace. Hopefully Common Speed can potentially be second or third line in betting. And I think off that run at the Gardens and with the improvement under Jason McKay could definitely take out this race. So I think Common Speed will be hard enough to hold out in the 10th race.
Alrighty, so race 10, number 6, Common Speed, and not a bad man to be teaming up with when you're looking for a winner. Jay McKay, on to the Rover for this weekend, please.
Yeah, rinse and repeat for me this week. Obviously, the races were abandoned last week, and I had player 1 as a Rover on that occasion, and I'll stick with her. Race 8, number 2, player 1. Won in fast time a fortnight ago now, personal best 29.58. As I mentioned last week, she's building a really nice record over this track and trip, hitting the frame in 10 of her 17 starts. This is a tougher race this week, but obviously that should just increase her price. I think we could get close to double figures, and especially from a place line, we might get about 6-4. So I think she's a bitch where she's drawn low. She typically finds the frame and she'll be hitting the line hard enough. So race 8, number 2, the Roving Banker, player 1.
I like that. Race 8, number 2, player 1. It's bringing back those video game vibes for us once again there in that particular contest. And the quaddie for this week, how are we going about the quad?
Yeah, leg 1, I'm not going to stand out Dalwhinnie. I think he might go up a ridiculous price, and he's going to have a few questions that he has to answer, in my opinion, off the map. So I've gone 2 and 8, just in case the 2 was able to hold him out and he does get caught wide. We might get a bit of value there if he goes under. Leg 2, I have gone the 7 and the 8. Leg 3, I've gone 3 and 7. And then leg 4, I thought was probably the toughest race on the card. I've gone a bit wide, 1, 2, 3 and 6.
1, 2, 3 and 6. So 2, 8, 7, 8, 3, 7, 1, 2, 3, 6 is the key here for our man in Jaycin Campbell. All right, Jace, that leaves us with only one task, and that is the very best for the weekend, this game that you are incredibly good at and have a bumper lead at the head of the table. Our $100 for this week for the very best goes on to...
Race 1, number 1, Cunningham, going to start off the card hopefully on fire.
Come out running. Come out of the boxes running. I love it. Bang.
Yes, 100%. Hopefully Cunningham can do that. Admittedly, he's probably got to go up short. It looks like a race with absolutely no substance whatsoever, and he did win a Magic Maiden Heat, defeating home a subsequent winner in Nangar Lady in pretty sharp time. Pretty happy to pen his last start. The bitch of Tommy's and Peter Davis, Shaula, I think you pronounce her name. She was obviously phenomenal, running 29.30. A lot of the dogs behind her just probably lost sight of the lure at their second start, and he just seemed a little bit disinterested late in the piece. Not that he pulled up or fought or anything. He just got a long way off the lure, and I don't blame him for taking the night off and only running 30 and 20. So I think in this 5th grade contest, as I mentioned, not much substance. Not many of these dogs have broken 30 in the past. I think he's obviously a dog capable of doing so, and box 1's obviously a massive tick.
Indeed. So there we have it, the very best. Get it early, punters. Race 1, number 1, Cunningham, for Saturday night there at Wentworth Park.
Before we let you go, JC, what did you make of the Ipswich Cup heats last night? Is there a box draw, and do we like anything pre-post?
There is a box draw. The heats last night, I think Kia Kaha was obviously brilliant. She pinged the lids down the front. Jay's Jay, not all that good, but not super surprised there considering his preparation obviously led into that race. Obviously maybe a bit of an afterthought and whatnot, and he hadn't seen the track or whatnot, so it was, I don't know, poorly planned, probably a bit harsh, but if I'm being honest, you could probably say that.
I thought Trooper Tears was eye-catching.
I was really impressed with Kia Kaha. She's drawn box 2 in the final. She's obviously got to make her own luck on the speed. Duffman's obviously another dog that excels at Ipswich, so I guess those are probably the 2 early runners to look out for without really doing a speed map and sort of seeing a price for the futures market.
I thought Trooper Tears was really good eye-catching last week. Did he draw wide at all?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't exactly looked.
Yeah.
I saw Kia Kaha draw the 2, and I think Duffman's drawn 4. So that only leaves 6 other boxes for Trooper Tears, and hopefully he's out wide for your train.
Yeah, no, he's a fast dog. He's had a few issues, and obviously very hard to get it right. But I thought last night was very eye-catching, and we had a chat off air, me and Shorty, about Smooth playing. Just an ultimate professional dog, isn't he? Any track, anywhere, just chases his guts out, and he's a really underrated dog, Smooth playing.
Yeah, he's pretty much made every single feature final across multiple states this year. Hasn't exactly taken one out, but I guess with the Ipswich Cup, I don't think it would have the substance of a $1 million chase or some of those hot races he's contesting in New South Wales and Victoria. So I think Smooth playing obviously has got to be a major player in that final next Thursday night.
Most definitely. Everywhere it turns up, it just it fires from all cylinders. Love your work. JC, thank you for taking the time out of a busy morning there in Melbourne town. We'll keep following your progress, of course, across all the social media platforms. Good luck for Melbourne Cup week, and can't wait to catch up again this time next week for our next episode on the Jet Set. Go well.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
Stay safe in Melbourne. See you, mate.
Don't know if that's possible, Train.
Get amongst it. Thank you, JC.
All right, thanks, guys.
See
Enjoy
ya.
your weekend.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye, mate.
Bye.
Another massive evening of metropolitan chasing lies ahead at the Meadows on Saturday night. To dissect the card, here's the man with the Melbourne Mail, Corey Smith.
One of the busiest men in Australian greyhound racing, Corey Smith's been good enough to give us a bit of his time on this Friday here on the Jet Set. Welcome to you, Corey. How do we find you today?
Nice busy week and a busy morning announcing the Top Gun fields, which is always there's always plenty of contention about it. Everyone's got their own opinions, their own ideas, but that is what makes the great race that it is. As I don't have a stutter, but I just keep saying great race because it's a bloody great race.
Yeah. Thanks for giving us a bit of time today, Corey. Yeah, it's a great race. Always rages great debate. You're not going to please everyone, but actually just looking at it just then with Shorty, I thought it's pretty good field. I don't think anyone could be disappointed that's not there, and all the lucky ones that are there should be very thankful.
Yeah, well, I think you can be disappointed if you miss out. You've got a couple of Group 1 winners in the reserves in Tim Zoo and Miss Envy. I'd be disappointed if I was their connections. But at the same time, if you're going to put one in, you've got to take one out, and you could argue till the cows come home about which way it should go. And at the end of the day, I'm really comfortable with the panel that we have in place and the way the panel is run and the discussions that are had. So you can't really be too disappointed because we do really go through a proper process. We have proper debates. We have all the arguments that need to be had. And 99% of the time, if someone says this should be in instead of this, that was discussed in the meeting.
Yeah, 100%. When do we see the box draw? Is that Monday night at the track?
Yeah, Monday night. So no Saturday night race meeting at the Meadows. We're Monday night, which is our traditional Melbourne Cup Eve. Of course, the public holiday the next day over here in Melbourne. And we'll run the box draws. We'll have them live on Facebook, probably towards the back end of the program after the Hume Cup heats, which there's 5 of those, and the Group 3 Silver Bullet, which is a great race on the calendar. And intriguingly, for the first time in a few years, a couple of Top Gun runners are going to go around.
I love it. Just for anybody that's missed it on the way through, the Top Gun Sprint Field, Blue Camaro, Excavation, Explicit, Flying Zulu, Good Odds Cobber, Hector Fawley, Morton and Zipping Megatron, Reserves Tim Zoo and Miss Envy, and in the stayers, Aunt Virginia, Drill Sergeant, Ella's Babe, Ethanol Water, Exploded, Red Dirt Road, Ritzer Piper, Valpolicella. The reserves there, Kenya All Class, I thought was very stiff to miss, and a Kenya Amy, the second of the reserves there. A wonderful night of chasing upcoming in Top Gun talk over the next little bit, so I can't wait for that. But let's get to this Monday night card. Melbourne Cup Eve, each and every year. This is a program that takes place at the Meadows. A lot of people coming in and out of TAB agencies nationwide looking to get their bets on for Cup Day. It is prime time, punters. If you have got a program that you want to be involved, this is it. The Monday night with everyone getting their pre-Melbourne Cup bets on. The Meadows is always front and square, and love it each and every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 600 metres just throws up so many different form lines. And as a punter, I think that's probably the best thing. You can kind of put that little bit of edge on most of the people that are kind of just your kind of next to go punters, and the people that have a bit of an idea and can understand that the run home times and all that sort of stuff. And hopefully a few of us blokes can give you a bit of a leg up on that sort of thing over these podcasts and any sort of media opportunities that we can get our hands on. But you'd be able to draw a line through a few of them with the bend start at most of the times, but then you have these dogs that are stepping up from 500 for the first time that might lead, so they might get away with the bend start. There's just so many questions, but that's what makes 600 metre racing such a different animal.
It certainly does, and it's tremendous to see the very talented Western Australian Bezecchi going around in Heat 4 of the Hume Cup. A greyhound that we obviously love here in Western Australia, but had no luck in the final across there in the $1 Million Chase, but was a hot heat winner or semi-final winner on the way through. We would expect this dog to be perfectly placed up to the 600 metre distance range. Glenn Rounds is looking after proceedings for Paul Stewart there. How do you expect Bezecchi to go in race number 6, Heat 4 of the Hume Cup on Monday night?
Yeah, I'm really intrigued. His 500 metre exhibition trial was reasonable. He's had to go out of the 600 metre box as just a box-to-box and probably didn't handle the bend start as well as he could. But the pairing of Paul Stewart, Glenn Rounds, I think they've done the right thing. Give him a box-to-box over the 600, so he sees those boxes. Give him a 500 as well, where he broke 12 seconds in the run home, which is what you need to be doing if you're stepping up to 600. I think the preparation has just looked absolutely perfect. He's obviously a fast animal. He's drawn okay in his heat, so I don't think there's any excuses that can be made for him. I think he's primed, he's ready to go, and I think Glenn Rounds is going to have some sort of confidence going into Monday night's heats for sure.
Yeah, I think he's drawn the right sort of heat too. Bezecchi would be disappointed if the dog didn't run really well there in race number 6 on Monday night. Might be a nice little bank builder for us as we head towards Melbourne Cup Day. Corey, fields haven't been out all that long, and you haven't had a chance to do your standard sort of roll up through the entire night, but are there couple of dogs that we can maybe have a bet on there on Monday to get the coffers ticking over for Melbourne Cup Day on Tuesday?
Yeah, well, we just spoke about Bezecchi's preparation, and I spoke to Jack Smith. I reckon it was about 3 or 4 months ago, and he told me he had a dog that he thinks might be trending towards a Hume Cup, and that dog is Flash Boom Bang. He's got the run-home record at Wentworth Park, I think, and he's just an absolute rocket. He's run behind Flying Zulu in defeat not that long ago at the Meadows. I thought was super impressive. And while he's got a few little chinks in his armour, I think if he can lob himself relatively close to the speed, and the speed's drawn outside of him in 6 and 7 with Alpha Zulu, Mr. Easy, I think he'll be able to lob just behind the leaders, maybe 3 or 4 off them, and then look out, because Jack's been looking at this race on the calendar for a few months. He's had it circled. He thinks he's got the right dog for it. So I'm looking forward to seeing Flash Boom Bang go around in what is the second heat. And then in the third heat as well, I'm chairman and CEO of the Raiders Guide fan club. I absolutely love the dog. I think he's the sort of dog, anytime, any distance, anywhere, and he just shows up and does his absolute best. It's a cracking race. Past Mark, who beat my bloke last week, King Owen, who's made Group 1 finals before, Lassard, Succeed. They're all fast animals, but I think Raiders Guide's going to stand up and show why Connections went towards a Hume Cup rather than going for a Top Gun Stayers, and show why 600 metres is his absolute go. So I reckon they're going to be the 2 main plays for me, is Flash Boom Bang and then Raiders Guide in the next heat. But I think Bezecchi's going to be all right. But if we're going down the Rover Banker path, where you've got Fred Rose in the race with Bezecchi, there's plenty of talent in the race, Iron Atlas, but I think Fred Rose is a bit of a roving banker. If we can get around $1.80 to place, I think that'd be a happy enough play for me as well. So the 3 for me across those Hume Cup heats.
Magnificent, and I agree 100%. Fred Rose is in the zone right now and never runs a bad race. It's always hitting the frame at decent prices. So Fred Rose there, the roving play on Monday night for Corey. That's race 6, number 6, Fred Rose. We, of course, maintain our $100 challenge each week. Are you happy enough to pick one of these out to have your $100 on for this week that you've mentioned then on Monday night?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have $100 on Raiders Guide. I absolutely love the dog, as I've just said, and I just think he's bulletproof. He can lead, he can win. He's got a fast PB at the track. He placed in this race last year. He won the Rookie Rebel in February. He just ticks a hell of a lot of boxes for me. I just think he's bulletproof, and he's probably the most reliable of all of the heats. But if I could cheer one on, I know I'm cheering on Raiders Guide pretty hard, but if I can get Kenya All Class into the Hume Cup final, I'd be pretty ecstatic.
Yeah, well, Raiders Guide goes around a bit underrated, doesn't he, Corey? He was brilliant in Adelaide, and he become one of my favourite dogs after Adelaide. Managed to secure some very good odds about him, and them Tasmanian dogs, they always go around a bit underrated, don't they? They've produced some good dogs, and that dog's been everywhere. He's been to the Gardens, he's been to Adelaide, he's been to Melbourne. Don't know, he's been everywhere. So I totally agree with you there. It's going to be some good racing there on Monday night, and then possibly out of that Silver Bullet, we might even see another Phoenix dog selected if something runs the hands off the clock. That's probably a good race for looking forward to the Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. The Silver Bullet over the last few years has just been an absolutely unbelievable race. There was a race that had Kelsey Bale and Amron Boy in it one year, and that was it was absolute box office, to be honest. I'm not going to say that it rivals the Top Gun, but it does sit in the same stratosphere, which is amazing given it's only a Group 3 and worth $25,000 to the winner. But it's certainly a race that gets circled by trainers, and a little bit differently this year, it's almost being used as a lead-up for some of these contenders for the Top Gun as well. So hopefully they all get around safe on the Monday, and then they can take their place on Saturday night, and we can cheer them on twice in a week.
Yeah, no, he's not in the Top Gun, but that Grand Tourer off the one box, he was very impressive last night at Sandown. So I like the way he's going for the Bravos.
Yeah, he's an absolute flying machine. He's just come back a different animal since he went over to Adelaide. He probably was a rung below before that, and he's just going from strength to strength. Does like to use a little bit of the track, so I'm not sure if box one's exactly where he wants to be, but he does have early speed, so I wouldn't be discounting Grand Tourer by any stretch.
Magnificent. Well, there's some exciting times in store at the Meadows, and Corey, of course, doing a wonderful job, one of the most innovative and professional administrators in the country, and we absolutely love catching up with him each and every week here on the Jet Set. Corey, thank you for your time. All the very best. Have a ripper weekend. Enjoy Monday night. Have you got a tip for the Melbourne Cup? You like anything early for the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday?
Oh, it's a tough one. Obviously, you're getting a few of them that are probably at the pointy end of the market being scratched. But the favourite from last year, I reckon, is being discounted a little bit. The raider, the name escapes me.
Vauban.
Vauban. I was going to say Verdad, and I knew that was wrong. So, Vauban's the one that I've got on top at the moment. But to be honest, I'm an absolute mug when it comes to the Melbourne Cup these days. So I'm just pulling one out of the annals.
That's okay. It's good to have something that you can throw into the ring. Beautifully done, Corey.
There was a mug with him last week. You're not a mug, mate.
Oh, mate, I don't know if you've ever said a nice thing to me, Train, but that's probably qualifies as the closest thing to it.
That'll do.
Okay, we'll take that. Take any dub you can get along the way with this man, Corey. Don't worry about that. Beautifully done, mate. Thank you for your time. Have a ripper week. We'll catch you this time on the what will certainly be, I'd say, first class, given what you've got coming up across there in Melbourne over the next little bit. So we'll try and keep it on the down low, though, not like the current PM that's, of course, embroiled in controversy with the upgrades that he's been receiving on flights in recent times. So we'll do it the legitimate way and just mention your name, and they'll put you straight to the pointy end of the plane here for the Jet Set next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure who gets more first-class upgrades, him or Train, but it'll be a neck-and-neck battle.
All they ever need to do is just drop that name and away they go. Must be nice. Beautifully done, Corey. All the best.
Thanks, fellas.
See you, mate.
It's time to roll out the red carpet and welcome our local industry VIP guest of the week.
Time to roll out the red carpet for our VIP industry guest this week. He's one of my favourites, two punters, Morgan Turner, oh so close to Group 2 victory last week in the All-Stars. Been doing a wonderful job with his team for a very significant period of time. He's been good enough to join us today. G'day, Morgan. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm well. Yourselves?
Yeah, going great, Morgan. So close last week. I got to get the elephant in the room out of the way straight away. Did you think you won? And was it true that people were congratulating you behind the boxes?
Yeah. We all thought we won. Everyone was shaking my hand. Even Nick shook my hand. And then then we went into the catching pen, catch our dogs and look over and, lo and behold, number 5's on the bloody board.
I must admit, sitting at home watching Morgan, I thought they'd put the wrong number up. And then when it was locked in 5, I'm waiting for that dash that they put up when there's a dead heat. I was like, there's not a chance this dog's been beaten, surely. But such is the angle that we deal with at different times at greyhound racing tracks. And look, I really felt for you, to be honest, because if I was in your shoes, I would have been sort of internally fist pumping, thinking, well done, Emerald Guard. Look, in the end, the result won't say that it's a Group 2 win, but the dog deserves enormous credit. He's really taken to the Mandurah circuit, racing incredibly consistently, and despite not getting the gold medal, you'd have to be pretty proud with the silver medal effort.
Yeah, that's for sure. Good dog, good run. And, Nick's dog's also good, so can't be too sad getting beaten by his dog.
No, it's racing, isn't it? It's competitive nature. You win some, you lose the others, and you move on to the next week, which is what you've got to do, of course, this week. And they do reoppose. I note they're on Saturday night at Mandurah. Morgs, talk to us a little bit about the sport and how you got involved in greyhound racing. Where did it all start for you?
We bought the property set up as a boarding kennel. And, quite a few greyhound people around the area, so started showing a bit of interest in that. And then, I was working at Rio Tinto with Linda Britton's brother, Ian Britton. So,
Right.
that's how I sort of started getting involved there, and then started visiting Linda and Chris's kennels, and all unfolded from there.
Out when the boarding kennels, in come the greyhounds. Morgan,
Yeah, that's right.
correct me if I'm wrong, but was it true your wife Karis was sort of anti-greyhound racing before she sort of got involved with them and seen them how they were cared for and handled firsthand, or not?
Yeah, that's right. She didn't want to bar them, to be honest. And then Linda had an open day.
Yep.
So I took Karis and the kids around there and showed her the dogs, and then then eventually we bought a greyhound, and ended up training him. And that was double joint. It was our first greyhound.
It just goes to show, doesn't it, Shorty, the mistruths that people put out there. And then obviously Karis has seen firsthand Linda's facilities and set up, and just said it was all nonsense, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's great to hear.
That's right.
Morgan, it's great to hear these stories. And what it does do, it makes you really want to get the message out there to more people that are in a similar scenario. And I don't hold it against people that are potentially on the fence or, got some form of anti-stance without knowing a lot about it. But so many of them, and I've hosted probably 10 to 12 different open kennel visits over the years with new people into the sport. And it's a recurring theme. A lot of people sort of go into it a little skeptical at the start, but within half an hour, they see the love and the care that are there for the dogs, how much the dogs themselves actually love racing and preparing for racing by running up and down the straight tracks and on the bull ring and things like that. And when a dead giveaway, if you're any dog, it's very difficult to fake being excited about doing something. And so if you go and watch greyhounds in this environment and there's a lot of tails that are wagging, it's their way of saying I'm enjoying what's going on here. And Morgan, there's often a lot of wagging of the tail when you go to a lot of these properties and you go to trials and you go to race night.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And this Emerald Guard's got a short tail. That's because he wagged it too much.
Whacked it somewhere along the line that he shouldn't have had it.
Karis has come a long way, Shorty, because people don't know Morgan works offshore. I'm not sure what his roster is, but Karis is at home basically training the dogs while Morgan's away. So big shout out to her. Obviously couldn't do it without her, and she's got a young family to look after as well. So coming from not particularly liking the grounds to now potentially training some very good dogs, Shorty.
Yeah, absolutely, and at a good level too. And it's a real family affair too. That's worth mentioning as well. Morgs, it's obviously Karis, but the whole family roll up their sleeves and love their time with the dogs.
Yeah, that's right. This should be my last interview. We should get her on here next time. She claims to be the trainer, and it's fair enough. It's 50-50, so I'm always even time rosters. So let's
awesome.
Get her on.
Yeah, well, absolutely. She's part of the team. It's part of the of how it all operates, and I love hearing about that though, as it really does make it a special time for everybody. And there's not many industries or sports where you can spend that time with your loved ones and ride the highs and lows together of what can happen within a sport.
Oh yeah, there's some arguments in the lows.
I bet there are, and potentially some different ideas on training regimes, what should be done heading forward.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Morgs, you've been in the caber for a while now, mate. Is there one dog in particular that stands out that you've had on the way through that's been a dog that'll certainly either set you up or will always remain your favourite dog sort of heading forward?
I've got two dogs that are my favourite that are no longer here, but and we've probably had dogs win more prize money than these two dogs, but definitely my favourites would be Stanger Moose and Columbus Manelli.
Yeah, absolutely. Gee, the Moose, wasn't he such an exciting dog over the shorter trips and had that wonderful finishing burst? Yeah,
he's a great dog. And he's the owners now have him as a pet on their couch.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. Morgs, any plans of going interstate with Emerald Guard, or we just keep to local?
Well, I was looking at the Hume Cup, but from the All Stars to there was too short a turnaround, and we haven't tried him over 600 yet. So I thought that was be a bit of a risky move. So,
He gives you every into impression he'd run 600, wouldn't he, Shorty?
Oh, it looks
Breaks
a
11.
perfect middle
he's
distance candidate.
broken 11-second run home quite a few times now. So I think I can't remember the name of the race now, the 600-metre race coming up at Paddington.
Canning Show Cup.
Yeah, I think that's the 30th of November's planned in for that now.
That's picked on the best 8 grading wise, so you'll have to get him up over 600 quickly to get some grades.
Well, that's it. There is no 600-metre race in WA, so how are they going to pick that, mate?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be challenging.
Change it this year. Have we got any up-and-coming young dogs on the way to look forward to, Morgan?
I've only got one litter on the ground at the moment, and they're only about 7 months old. So, yeah, just wait and see with those. And then I've got a couple other bitches here that I want to breed.
Excellent. You've done a good job too, breeding some litters in recent times. So hopefully more success to come. Morgan, prepare yourself. Pop on the seatbelt. This is where the train wheels out the old blowtorch and hits you up with his 10 favourite questions. So I'll handball across to the train.
Yeah, no worries. I've been worried about these.
Yeah, you'll be right, mate. You're a professional. You walk into a bar, what's your drink order?
Just any beer that's on tap, really. But at home, the export's my favourite.
Yep. Favourite restaurant you can recommend to anyone?
I think we're pretty good cooks, so we stay home a fair bit. But Chinese if I'm going out.
Topical tip. Funniest person in our industry?
The same as everyone picks, bloody Cody Charles.
Yeah. Best or favourite dog you've trained? We just touched on that. Shorty, you want to lock one of them two in, or?
Yeah. Put Stangamoose there.
Yep. Favourite holiday destination?
Probably just camping around WA. Pretty hard to get away when you got the dogs.
Yep. I know how you feel. Celebrity crush?
Hey, mate, you have heaps of holidays.
I was going to say, cut it out, train.
Celebrity crush?
Yeah.
Is Shorty a celebrity?
Oh, you're a fine man. You're the first to come up with that, Morgs. We'll pay that. Outstanding.
I'll put Jennifer Lawrence.
Biggest win in the sport?
Won a few like provincial beach races, I guess, like Peel Plate and stuff. But I think Toad won Autumn Maiden Classic. That wasn't too bad. City race, I guess.
Yep. Hobbies outside of racing?
Fishing, camping, shooting.
Yep. Favourite track? Doesn't have to be in WA.
Yeah, I haven't been to too many tracks. I did like Angle Park when I went over there. Good atmosphere, good track, but not very good prize money.
And 3 people you would choose to be stuck on a deserted island with?
Well, I get along with a lot of people in the greyhound industry, but have you seen the TV show Alone?
No, I haven't. Have you, Shorty?
No, I don't get to watch much TV. Is it good?
Oh, yeah, good show.
Just a bloke running solo? You'd be happy to run solo?
I'll go solo.
Fair enough too. Beautifully done. Morg, thank you so much for joining us on the Jet Set podcast for today, mate. It's been really nice learning a little bit about your setup and how you got involved in the sport, some of your favourites along the way as well. We will be following the kennel very closely. Let's hope that big win for Emerald Guard's just around the corner, mate.
No dramas.
Thanks, Morgan.
Thanks for having us.
On the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set, here are the Darwin tips with Bones Harmon.
There we go, Bones Harmon about to join us to round out the program for today. Winnelly Park Sunday. There's an 8-race card for the punters to get involved with. G'day, Bonesy.
G'day, boys. How are we?
Yeah, going good, Bones. How are you? Ready for Tuesday, Melbourne Cup? We've got a midweek Darwin this week, or is it just the Sunday next week?
We had midweek this week, so It's only Sunday. I think they were all shorties that popped up this week too. In midweek, it was pretty tough going to find any value. But ready for the Melbourne Cup.
Have you got an early pick for the Cup?
Look, I've sort of been following Land Legend all the way through, and I don't really want to jump off. Melbourne Cup, notoriously tough race to sort of pick. I'll be going with a lot of sort of mystery first falls and tries, but I'll stick with Land Legend and hopefully runs another very nice race for me.
I like it.
Zack Attack.
Yeah, well, the one thing I will say, people hit us up hard for tips on the Melbourne Cup. It's like trying to find the winner of 3 dog races all rolled into one, and often never raced in the country, don't know how they've settled in. It's challenging, but it's always rewarding if you can find the result. So we'll be trying hard as always. Let's see, though, if we can't fill up the coffers, so we've got a few extra bucks to speculate with come Tuesday for the Melbourne Cup, where we're having a bet on Sunday up there at Wentworth Park. Bonesy?
Absolutely. Let's see if we can boost the coffers. And I've gone one in race 6, number 1, Our Therapy, which I think will actually offer us up a little bit of value. It's certainly not the best dog in the race, and it's a really competitive 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade 3 metre one. But it is a box 1 dog. It's 11 starts, 4 wins, 6 further placings, and it runs so much better when it's just on that rail and it can hunt up. Nothing in there would surprise me. Rex on Fire is a very, very strong dog, as is, and talented ones in there like Soxlala, Nick the Quick, but look, we'll go with Our Therapy, and I think we'll get an each-way price about it, and we'll see if we can boost that for Melbourne Cup Day.
Very nice. Race 6, number 1, Our Therapy, something I need a little bit of after working with the train each Friday. What about the second of your picks?
Second one, again, we'll go with box 1, and that's in race 7. That's Messed Up Mary, and again, she's probably not in sparkling form herself, but again, likes the rails. She's got the best time of this bunch over the distance. And she came out of the same race as Our Therapy last start. So if that runs a decent enough run the race before, should give us a little bit more confidence that Messed Up Mary's going to have a little crack at them as well. So race 7, number 1.
Former Sandgroper, Messed Up Mary, race 7, number 1. And if there are any tips left, that would mean we're probably heading to the last, race number 8.
Correct. And we'll go with number 5, It's a Zoo. Now, new dog in Darwin coming by the way of North Queensland and Grafton as well. Ran a solid 18-20, couple of starts back, and this is a grade 4. Most of these dogs are on their limit in grade 4. If he can clear Shatter in box 4, who is pretty reckless and loves to get off the track, should be able to run away from him pretty quickly. But, yeah, we keep our eye on Shatter because he's a bit of a pain.
Okay, well, let's hope we can dodge Shatter on the way through and get the job done. So race 6, number 1, race 7, number 1, and race 8, number 5 from Bonesy for Sunday chasing up there in Darwin at Wentworth Park. Beautifully done, Bonesy. Appreciate your time as always. Enjoy Melbourne Cup Day. Hopefully we get a big run out of Land Legend, and we'll be cheering hard those last 3 races up at Wentworth Park on Sunday.
Thanks, boys. Have a great weekend. Good luck on the punt.
Thanks, mate.
It's time to get the inside word from some of the most successful kennels in WA. Here's this week's Kennel Mail.
All right, the Kennel Mail for this week. We're going to kick things off with Lukey Townsend. He is, for the month of November, getting involved with Movember, along with Justin Wood, Kane Buckwell, and Lukey, the big trio there. If you win a few bucks, courtesy of the Jet Set podcast, please be generous and donate to a wonderful cause over the next little bit. Lukey's found us plenty of winners, so if you've made a few bucks, get around him for Movember and a great cause. He has gone Mandurah Friday night, race 7, number 2, West on Kaiser, and race 11, number 1, Wise Barra. So 7-2, 11-1 for Luke Townsend. For Graham Credelli for this week, and he's heading up to Exmouth on a fishing trip, so he won't be with us next week.
Another holiday.
Yes,
oh,
Crane.
My goodness.
Yeah. They did say that they were looking to emulate your work, so they've done it here with race 1, number 8, Emi Nakayama. He has actually given me a bit of a rundown on these, so we'll go to that and talk you through his thought process behind it. Race 1, number 8, Emi Nakayama changed it up a bit at home with her this week, so I expect improvement. Just needs to step with him each way. Race 1, number 8. In race 3, number 8, Fidel Pronto tipped this bloke last week and was run off down the back straight after jumping well. Doesn't mind it out of the 8 and should make up for last week each way. Race 3, number 8, Fidel Pronto. Race 4, number 8, What a Ripper. So it's all about the floss for Grazer for tonight. Knocking on the door with 3 seconds in a row. We'll win one of these shortly. Doesn't know how to run a bad race. We'll be in the finish again. So 1-8, 3-8, 4-8 for Grazer. Mandurah Friday night. Then Mandurah Saturday night. Race 6, number 4, Chloe Ant. This is a harder race than last week. She's in form, and if she can lead again, she's a good show. He's heading up to Exmouth for 5 days fishing, looking to bring back some blue marlin. So good on you, Grazer. Enjoy the fishing trip there. And that leaves only a brother Damien. He's come up with a couple for us. G'day, mate. Tonight, race 1, number 2, Every Step. Hard to tip with confidence, but with being in grade 6 and on the inside, just has to be a bet at odds. Just needs to get the jump right and will be in the finish each way. Race 1, number 2, Every Step. And Saturday, race 2, number 1, Go Seek Francine. Back to the fence where she wants to be each way. Race 2, number 1, Go Seek Francine. So a big thanks to Luke Graham and Damien Credelli with their kennel mail for this week. Train, any kennel mail for you?
I'm just going to tip Curious Georgia tonight, race 6, number 5. Look, I'll be honest, I was a little bit unsure last week when she drew inside. She doesn't like dogs on the outside, but I think she'll go 4 in a row tonight, Shorty. She's just had a normal week and jumping out of her skin. So she's met all these dogs before, except with the exception of Rod's dog, and it is probably the hardest to beat, I would say. And but I'm just glad I'm drawn underneath it, not outside it, so I can punch up and lead. And last week's track, take note, punters, it's not for my dog here, but just times overall. The track was slow last week.
Yeah,
those dogs leading all the way running 27.90. And they're 27.50 dogs. So, look, I think she's a 22.20 dog herself. So, whether or not someone can pick her up in that, good luck to them.
Okay, fair enough. So, Curious Georgia on top as the kennel mail for train for this week. On to scraps. Have you got any leftovers for the punters?
Yeah, Geelong tonight, race 8, number 3, Mackinaw Peach, Jeff Britton. It's a 520-metre race. It's their track they got on the inside. They don't use it that often, but I know Jeff and Rob always tried a lot of their dogs around there, box to box, so would have had plenty of looks around there, Shorty. And then Rosehill tomorrow, race 10, number 9, Bullets High for our man Joe Pride off the map. And spoke to Grant Williams through the week, Shorty's very, very confident. You don't have to back it, but just cheer it home. It's a WA horse, race 8, number 7, Alsafina in the Empire Rose. He's very bullish about her chances tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm on board. Alsafina at the double figure odds, so do cheer hard for her. Love seeing the West Aussies do well over on the East Coast. That would be the case with Alsafina there at Flemington for tomorrow. For me, my racing multis all at Ascot for tomorrow. Race 5, number 7, Joker's Grin. Race 7, number 8, Bravo Centurion. And race 8, number 2, Super Smink. They're all very talented types. Look well placed. 5, 7, 7, 8, 8, 2. $11.04 for that treble there on Saturday. Give them strength for that particular contest. And train, rounding things out for this week with the very best. What have you come up with?
I'm going to have a 2-leg all-up tomorrow night at Mandurah, Shorty. Race 4, number 5, Molotov Boy, into race 7, number 8, Malfetta Crew is my very best this week.
Alrighty, so 4, 5 into 7, 8 for the train there on Saturday night. For me, punters, I'm going to be taking the same first leg, Molotov Boy, the win. I'll go to Hopeland to run top 2, race 9, number 8 to be running top 2 in that particular lineup there. And
don't be greedy.
No, that'll do me.
Don't
We'll
be
just look
greedy.
to get something. So we'll take those
What's
two.
the update? Do you have an update or not?
I don't at the moment.
Okay.
I'll have it for you next week. It's been a pretty
let you
hectic week with Melbourne Cup. The 2 boys both added to their tally last week. We both missed out. So they continue to do well. So that's us for this week. Done and dusted. You've got one to finish off for this week?
I got a little joke here. I don't know how it'll go, but
Okay.
my boss rang me yesterday. He was very angry. There was nobody else to cover your shift. I didn't turn up yesterday to work. I said, I'm sorry, I was becoming a father yesterday. He said, oh, really? I'm happy for you, boy or a girl? I said, I'll tell you in 9 months.
Oh, Train, he's getting in early.
The boss said, you're fired.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
I'll bet he did say you're fired. Oh, that's not bad. I'll pay that. Pretty clever work from you, Train. Now, I've got a couple that are a bit punny to round out today. I never finish anything. I have a black belt in martial arts. And also, if your guy doesn't appreciate fresh fruit puns, let that man go. There we go. That'll do us for this week. We'll be better next week, I promise. Thank you all very much for your company, as always, here on the Jet Set podcast. Wishing you all many winners. Look forward to your company. Same bat times, same bat channel, this time next week.
Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set. Be sure to share and retweet the show to help grow our community. Into 'em, punters.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.